Hello and welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I'm Eva Maria, your Monday hostess, and this week's topic is favorite witchy holidays. We're all going to speak about our favorite witchy holidays, but there's a reason why my video is so late in the day. I wanted to take my time and gather my thoughts and find my words and really express what I wanted to express as correctly as I could, as heartfelt as I could, and really, I wanted to explore within myself, like what was my truth that I wanted to share in this video, That said, I will say it's hard to choose just one favorite witchy holiday because every Sabbath and Esbat marks another step forward in time. These days each have their merits and promises. There's so many wonderful things about each Sabbath or Esbat. It is kind of hard to choose just one favorite. To be honest, I would have to say I don't have just one favorite. Personally, I have three that are very dear to my heart. First, I would definitely say Samhain. I love Samhain, and that's because our spiritual allies, our ancestors, our departed loved ones, they are so much closer to us. The veil is thinner. It's such a magical time. So Samhain definitely ranks pretty high on my list there of beloved holidays. And secondly, Yule has a special place in my heart. And that's because, to me, it's a celebration of togetherness, of family and community. And it comes with a promise of hope. For me, personally, Yule is very closely connected to Christmas. And that's because for most of my life, I grew up in a household where my family is Catholic, albeit not practicing. They didn't go to church, at least not as far as I could ever remember. I think before my time, either when I was a very small baby maybe, but I think actually before then they stopped going. But regardless, we always had Christmas. But Christmas to me was always about people that you care about, getting together with people at the end of the year, showing people you cared about them. It wasn't for me about how many gifts can I give you and how expensive are they and all that kind of stuff. And maybe that's because growing up, I didn't come from a house where there was like money was no object, So we had a certain appreciation instilled in us that any small gesture was a great one. If someone took the time to do something as small as write you a letter or send you a card, that was significant. They made time for you. If someone gave you a small handmade gift, they put effort into that. It wasn't about, oh, I got you a $500 TV for Christmas. That's that just didn't carry the same. Not that I'm not saying you can't give someone an expensive gift and really mean it. I'm just saying that wasn't the central theme or the core of the sentiment of the holiday. It wasn't about stuff. And there is a song that when I got a little older, I found this CD. I was actually at a music store. And it's funny because I didn't find it at Yule time or Christmas time. I found the CD, it was like summertime. And they had this big table outside, and there was all these CDs out there, and they were like $1 each or something like that. I think I want to say in my early 20s. And I was flipping through them, and this one CD really caught my eye and I felt drawn to it. I didn't realize that it was a Christmas song CD because it didn't come across that way. But I bought it for $1 and I took it home and I listened to it and I fell in love with the music. The CD was by Susan McKeon and Lindsay Horner. And the songs on this disc, they are Christmas songs, but they have very pagan sort of leanings. For me, it was like perfect because here was music that was very pagan and then music that was at the same time very Christmassy, you know, like you kind of had the best of both worlds. It was very like, it was the kind of music you would imagine being closer to a time further back in history, before maybe Christianity was so established, you know, where some people might have had a little bit of both leanings, you know, or something of that sort, you know, when people were just sort of, when it was a new religion, you know what I mean, and people still retained a lot of their pagan, I guess you could say, roots. So this song, I'm going to link it in the description of this video because it's actually, this song I'm trying to tell you about, the Song of Forgetting, is the song on this CD. Every year I listen to it at like Yule/Christmas time because for me it has profound meaning. And I wrote down some little snippets of the lyrics to just read to you to give you an idea of why that song really evokes for me the feeling of that time of year, you know, that pagan holiday, that witchy holiday that really means something to me. But it's funny because this song, the chorus does refer to Christmas, but because for me, Christmas and Yule are so intertwined, I don't mind that. It's, to me, it's just fine. You know, it still carries the same expression and the same meaning as if the words had said Yule, you know? Because it's really about a time of year, you know, and what comes, the message of that time of year, what comes with that, the meaning of that time of year, you know. So it doesn't matter to me that the chorus refers to Christmas. To me, it's still just, I always seek out this song at that time. So the first part of the lyrics I wanted to recite to you is as follows. In the long days of summer, we think not of the cold and the hardship that lies just ahead. We do hardly but notice the year growing old, till October and November are fled. And that is so true. And then it goes on. The birds all fly south as fall leaves disappear. May we live but to see one more spring. That part of the lyrics really touches me profoundly because it reminds me that to live one more year, to live one more season, to be here is such a blessing, you know, to even with people, let's say, that we lose, you know, people that pass on, you know, I try to focus on the fact, and this applies to animals too. I try to focus on the fact that not everyone in the world was blessed to have those people or those animals in their lives. But for those of us who knew those people that we have lost, we were blessed. We had that honor and that privilege to know them, you know. And, you know, being here, we have the ability to touch the lives of others and to do great things. We have such potential. It is such a blessing that we are given this, you know, this whole experience of this journey that is life. So when I hear that lyric, may we live but to see one more spring, it is so deep to me. And then the song, there's another part of the song that continues on. At the turn of the year, when all hope seems to fade, deep within the bleak, chill, icy ground, comes a voice in our ears for to be unafraid and have faith, all that's lost shall be found. And the chorus of this song that I was referring to earlier is, we do sing with one voice, we do pray with one heart, for the promise that Christmas does bring. That part of the lyrics too, I also see in it, when it says we do sing with one voice, we do pray with one heart, that speaks very much of the togetherness that I feel that Yule and Christmas are really supposed to be all about. And for me, because Yule and Christmas are so closely connected, when I hear, we do sing with one voice, we do pray with one heart, I feel that the closeness that is possible, and I do think on that there are some people who are pagan or who are Christian who don't have anything against one another. These people can come together, quite peacefully, quite lovingly, respectfully, and then, saying we do pray, we do sing with one voice, we do pray with one heart for the promise that Christmas does bring. To me, though they use the word Christmas, to me it's speaking of about the promise of this time of year. I hope that makes sense. And again, I'm going to invite you to go down to the description of this video when you're done watching. Do click that link I'm going to have there for you and listen to this song. It's such a beautiful, beautiful song. Whoever put it up on YouTube, though, I believe the page was Susan McKeon's. They made a little mistake. Instead of putting the song of forgetting, they put the song Og forgetting, because I guess the F and the G key on the keyboard are really close and they kind of typoed that, but it's the song of forgetting, okay? But that aside, I'm going to tell you about my third favorite witchy or pagan holiday. I also love very much Lughnasadh. And I love this holiday because it is a time of acknowledging sacrifices. Most specifically, this is a time of year where we honor the sacrifice of the Lord so that life may continue on. In my view, the Lord, the yang aspect of the great all, the masculine, the divine masculine, is the keeper of the ways of death, just as much as the feminine yin aspect, the mother, is very much the keeper of the ways of life. And they're part of the same greater whole, and they maintain a balance in the world. So in seeing the Lord as the keeper of the ways of death, and that he lays down, his life so that, he sacrifices himself so that life may continue, I see this as a celebration of death making way for new life. It's a celebration of transition. It's a threshold time. We're acknowledging, for example, if you've ever seen vegetation die back, and then when the cycle continues on, new vegetation springs up, nourished by the dead vegetation. That is an example of the God who laid down life for new life to come in. When we see that an animal dies and its body returns to the earth, nourishing the soil so the crops, the plants may grow, this is the God at Lughnasadh laying down life, laying down his life so life may go on. And this delicate balance between life and death, this dance, is something extremely sacred and profound. Whether you're a vegetarian, whether you're an omnivore, whether you're a pescatarian, whatever. We all eat things that were once alive. So we can all connect, I think, with the idea that the laying down of life is sacred. So, yes, these are my, I can't even say three favorite, because a favorite is when you pick one. These are the three witchy pagan holidays that are probably dearest to my heart. And I look forward this week to hearing everyone else talk about their favorite witchy pagan holidays. You know, what they mean to them and why those are their favorites. And I'd like to hear from all of you, as would everyone else here at Witches of the Moon. We would like to hear from all of you in regard to what your favorite witchy holidays are and why. You know, what those holidays that you really feel are dear to your heart, what they mean to you. That would be cool. So if you have anything to share or add or bring forth in regard to, what I have said here, or in regard to favorite witchy or pagan holidays, I do welcome you, please, to put that down below in the comments. And I'm going to wish you blessed be and ashe. Until next time, until next week, you stay awesome. And bye-bye for now.